सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया. That's it. But listen though.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा. इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
I'm with Chandrabhan Prasad, noted Dalit writer and intellectual, and Yashwant Deshmukh, psephologist, political analyst, and director of the C-Voter polling agency. And today we are talking about the larger politics around the resignation of the Aam Aadmi Party leader in Delhi, Rajendra Pal Gautam. He says he was not forced to resign, but he did resign on Sunday. This was about his presence at a mass conversion meeting in Delhi last week on the 5th of October, when along with the great-grandson of Bhim Rao Ambedkar, Mr. Rajendra Pal Gautam participated in and spoke the 22 vows that B.R. Ambedkar, way back in 1956, gave to a large gathering of several thousand people. These are the 22 vows that Dalits take, or people of all castes, I should add, take when they want to convert to Buddhism. But let me not get ahead of myself, and let me welcome both of you to ThePrint. Chandrabhanji and Yashwant, welcome to ThePrint.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jyoti.
Chandrabhanji, can I start with you and ask you about this conversion? Why is it that Rajendra Pal Gautam resigned from the party? What were the pressures on him regarding the BJP, which was accusing him and his party or his former party of being anti-Hindu?
I think Mr. Gautam is dismissed.
Okay.
And it is a very routine thing in Maharashtra, for instance, Nagpur, Bombay. Even chief ministers have participated. This is a ritual every October, where 22 guys are read. People take these places and then they go home. This is I don't know why it became such a big issue here in Delhi. Or
So
maybe
you think he was dismissed by Arvind Kejriwal?
Yes, of course.
But why do you think he was dismissed?
Because BJP made it an issue, and Arvind Kejriwal is, after all, a photocopy of BJP. So Hindus are Hindus. Hindus don't accept Dalits as Hindus, and if Dalits want to flee Hinduism, then they also blame Dalits. So this is BJP has to do it because it is their ideology, and Kejriwal has not spoken a word on this. And Mr. Gautam is lying if he says that no, he is doing on his own and his leader is very nice and all that thing. He has a right to do everything. That is one thing. But to say that he himself decided to quit the party so that his leader doesn't face embarrassment, I think it's not correct. It's not true.
Okay. Yashwant Deshmukh, can I come to you and ask you now? There has been Manoj Tiwari, who's an MP from Delhi, has said that this is the anti-Hindu image of Arvind Kejriwal, who is trying to divide and rule in the city. So what is the issue if Rajendra Pal Gautam participates in a mass conversion meeting, whether he is Hindu or Dalit or Buddhist? What is the issue with that?
Well, it's one of those classic, war of narratives, Jyoti, where it's classically Arvind Kejriwal has to answer that he is not anti-Hindu, but BJP doesn't have to answer that they are not anti-Ambedkar. The same way, because if they had a problem with the vows, then, they have to say that we have a problem with the Ambedkar idea of everything. But I think on the larger point, it has everything to do with the Gujarat election. We know how much Aam Aadmi Party is right now focused in Gujarat. They want to do well there, and they know very well that they cannot go to Gujarat with any anti-Hindu branding whatsoever. And that is where this comes in. Also, the fact that, as Tadamanji said, that, these are one of those routine things which have been done, but it is not that routine in North India, Jyoti. That is also, let's face it, this has been largely focused and largely enabled in Maharashtra and the now Buddhist movement. This is where it has been. Otherwise, Buddhism or the large political idea of Hindutva, they are not really anti against each other in that way. Large population of the North India are pretty much pro Buddhist, and in that way, because a large number of chunk of Hindus do consider Bhagwan Buddha as the 10th, one of the Dashavatars in that way. And this is why it has never been a politically sensitive thing in the North India, because in the northern Indian parts, Jyoti, to be honest, nobody even knew of these 22 vows. Let's be
What is the
upfront
issue?
about that.
No. So what is the issue if North India considers Gautam Buddha as being part of the larger Hindu fold? Then what is the problem with the BJP? After all, Prime Minister Modi
I
is
think-
always saying that
No, I think it is just about the wordings. That is something which Ambedkar ji framed, where he thought that he has to pull out the large section of the Dalits out of this fold, place them as a platform of Buddhism, which is not alienated to the cultural roots of India. And there is a classical article and a book. I mean, basically, Ambedkar ji very much clearly wrote why he preferred to pick up Buddhism as the order where he wanted his followers to go in, and not any other religion. So at that point of time, he wanted to do that. He wrote those things which made sense at that point of time to radically shift those Dalits from that kind of societal structure and pull them up to a different structure, all that.
Yeah.
However,
Chandrabhan ji-
that was pretty much limited to Maharashtra. Let me be, I mean, when I analyze from politics perspective, political context, it was pretty much limited to the Navbhats of Maharashtra. And it was not pretty much common in the North India. People didn't even know about that, where their contexts are about the trinities of gods and Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, and a direct incidence to the Brahmins and those kind of things. That in the North, people did not know about, because we do not have that kind of a large scale Dalit to Buddhism conversion. That did not happen in the north of India.
Chandrabhan ji, explain to me, when Ambedkar writes the annihilation of caste, that caste should disappear, or it should be deleted, or it should be annihilated. Does the BJP have a problem with Ambedkar, do you think?
First, let me offer a correction. People and Dalit people, there is some distinction. I was in Lucknow for almost 2.5 years during my Dalit Shiksha Andolan campaign, and there was some anniversary, 50th anniversary or something. There were massive gatherings in Lucknow where civil servants, Dalit civil servants, also sported chivar and chanted these 22 vows. So in Dalit homes, in Dalit middle class homes, these 22 pratigyaएं are very common thing, very normal thing. But as he says, Deshmukh ji, it was not that well known in common public, but in Dalit public, it is very, for so many decades we are hearing this. But Vice Pratigyaएं. People ask me, Prasad ji, why do you, if you are Ambedkarite, why do you drink scotch? So I say, I am not fully Ambedkarite, and I am not a Buddhist at all. Also, I am an atheist. So it's a very normal thing. 22 प्रतिज्ञाएं वो follow. Once I was confronted by a group of Dalits in Lucknow. I said, all right, I'm not complete Ambedkarite, but there is one clause in the 22 प्रतिज्ञाएं, कभी झूठ नहीं बोलेंगे. I said, do you all speak? Don't you lie in your life? So you are also not complete Ambedkarite. So among Dalits is very normal thing. And see, BJP has to. I forgot your question.
The question is The question is that Prime Minister Modi looks at B.R. Ambedkar as one of his heroes, as one of his role models. In which case, what is the problem if Rajendra Pal Gautam attends a conversion ceremony from Hinduism to Buddhism? After all, if these 22 pratigyaएं, if they have been formulated by B.R. Ambedkar himself, then the BJP should have no problem with it at all.
Yeah, that's the issue. Ask Mohan Bhagwat ji, he lives in Nagpur, if he has any problem with these 22 pratigyaएं. Ask Mr. Prime Minister if he has any problem with these 22 pratigyaएं. Then why does leaders in BJP have problems? And problems with therefore with Ambedkar.
But do you think BJP has a problem with Ambedkar?
Of course, Ambedkar is a live wire. Ambedkar says, he not only says that he will quit Hinduism, he also says he will annihilate caste. Caste को ही खत्म करेंगे. And to our understanding, maybe we are slightly biased. People have their own biases, and let me tell that honestly. To BJP, Hinduism means caste order at the center of the religion, and that's why we say RSS doesn't have any idea of nation. Caste is their Rashtra under the leadership of upper caste. This is our position. One can question it, and that in a democracy, people should question each other, and that's how things progress. So they have problem anybody questioning caste. I once said my good friend Sinhaji of Delhi University that RSS has less problem with Muslims than the problem they have with Dalits, because they consider Muslims as a people who follow Islam. Dalits are not allowed in temple entry in large parts of India, and even our president, honorable president, former president was embarrassed in a temple in Odisha. So anybody who wants to finish caste, that RSS cannot forgive. And Ambedkar was one of that. This is our opinion. This is our, one can say we are fully stupid. But ask any RSS man anything against caste and see the reaction.
Yashwant, you said that you believe that this is more a political stunt than anything else. So even if this is how to explain it, that elections in Gujarat are around the corner. Arvind Kejriwal was in Gujarat. There are posters of Arvind Kejriwal in a skull cap, implying that he is anti-Hindu and pro-Muslim. But what does this have to do with the fact that if Chandrabhan is right, that he sacked Rajendra Pal Gautam, or whether he asked him to resign on his own? But उसमें politics में इसका क्या linkage है? थोड़ा ये समझाइए.
I think, Jyoti, it's not that simple. I mean, I respect Chandrabhanji's point of view, but Chandrabhanji also knows that there is so much of gray area in what he is saying and what the actual realities on the grounds are. If you have read today's Mr. Mohan Bhagwat's statement, where he has actually said that the Varna Vyavastha and the caste should be annexed in there, it should be done away with in Hinduism. That statement that has been given by Mr. Mohan Bhagwat. And consider the practical side of it. in 2014 and 2019, the two mandates to the BJP and Narendra Modi, they happened only and only because a big chunk of Dalits voted for the BJP. Today, BJP is one party which has the maximum vote of Dalits in country. Okay. Today, BJP is also the party which has maximum chunk of tribal votes for the BJP. Chandrabhan ji can very well say that voting for the BJP does not mean that they support the BJP or they are against Ambedkar ji or BJP is against Ambedkar ji. But obviously it is, it is going to be difficult for X to explain to anybody why the Dalits are voting for a party which, as per many, is anti-Ambedkar.
But that is a good point. That is a good point.
It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Exactly.
It doesn't add up. But the reason why it doesn't add up, Jyoti, is that yes, for all the people who are struggling on the caste lines, who are confronting the very deep-rooted caste biases, and I salute them, including Chandrabhan ji. Caste-based problems are the bitter reality of India. I agree with that. But I also see the point where I see so much of seva karya by the RSS guy doing and aiming at the Dalits, Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram doing so much of work in the far-flung tribal regions, from schooling to everything that they are trying to do. And if that ends up in political capital, that social capital eventually turns up as a political capital for the BJP, I think one has to actually look into the reality. Why hasn't this entire game of game plan of converting Dalits to a new religion and trying to do away with that kind of political positioning, rather than looking at the political side of the BJP and the RSS, that they are trying to put everybody in under the one umbrella of Hindutva. We may agree, disagree. I'm not taking parts in that.
That's a fair point. Chandrabhan ji, the question is, why are the Dalits voting for the BJP in such large numbers in that case?
There is a problem of arithmetic. If you are not good at calculations, you land up with very embarrassing results. In 2014, I was at a few television channels, and all RSS people, BJP people who came in the debate, Muslim women have voted for BJP en masse. Dalits have voted for BJP en masse. Tribals have voted for BJP en masse. Barring Yadavas, all OBCs have voted en masse. All upper caste have voted en masse. And they would say with so much of confidence that barring few votes here and there, all votes have gone to BJP.
No, but Chandrabhan ji, it is a fact that Dalits have voted for the BJP. It is a fact
where is the fact?
It is true. You can see.
The numbers show, Chandrabhan ji, the numbers show all the research activities from CSDS to C-Voter. All numbers clearly show. Say, for example, in Uttar Pradesh, almost 60 to 70 out of every 100 voters.
Allahabad, he does surveys of Valmikis, he does surveys of Khatiks, he does surveys of few more castes. So Valmikis below Western, below Muradabad. I didn't understand. Please listen.
Sorry. Please continue.
Below Muradabad, Valmikis are few families in cities. There are no Valmikis in villages. Khatiks are also city-based community, and they are called Sonkar. They are tempted towards BJP, not only in terms of voting, but in terms of support, ideological support to BJP. One professor, I don't want to name him, from Allahabad, bases his entire study on Valmikis and Khatik, sometimes Dhobis. Listen, Dhobis. who are less than 1% of Dalit population and declares that Dalits have voted for BJP. Dalits have voted for BJP in mass, who voted for Mayawati, who votes for Congress party, who votes for Akhilesh Yadav. So this is a myth spoken with plenty of confidence, and it becomes a truth.
Unfortunately, the numbers don't add up in that way, Chandrabhanji, simply because of the reason that arguably after Ambedkar ji, I think Babu Jagjeevan Ram was the biggest political name in terms of electoral politics from the Dalit, and after that, Bahin Mayawati ji was the biggest name who actually got into a kind of a power structure, and so much so that in 2009, Mayawati ji became the prime ministerial candidate of the third front. Let me remind you. Even after that, what was the total voting percentage of Bahujan Samaj Party in Uttar Pradesh in the recently concluded election? How many seats did VSP win? Can you imagine a bigger power symbol than Mayawati ji to the Dalits in Uttar Pradesh and in entire India? She became the most powerful chief minister in the most powerful state of India. And even after that, if Dalits are not voting for her, then they are going somewhere. And if they are going to Samajwadi Party, Chandrabhanji, I can give you in writing, Samajwadi Party would have been power in Uttar Pradesh. If they are voting for Congress, Priyanka Gandhi ji would have been chief minister of Uttar Pradesh right now. They did not. They voted for some party which party is in power. But I mean, I respect your point of view, Chandrabhanji.
That's a fair point.
But what I'm simply trying to say, the arithmetic and mathematics doesn't add up. I'm being very, very candid and honest with you in these kind of observations because that's my job. I said this right in the upfront that I have a huge respect for all the Dalit leaders and the Dalit resolution to fight these inequalities. I am a huge supporter of that, and I understand that. I explain as a student of the electoral politics, this thing had a huge momentum in case of Maharashtra. We today, so much so when the census happens, you know that the biggest chunk of those who say that we follow Buddhism, they come from the Navbots, not the Bodh kind of thing, you know. And
right.
that is a reality, factual check. But when you know, I will tell you one more data, Jyoti, why brand Ambedkar is not taken as a Buddhist brand. Brand Ambedkar is treated as a brand for the Dalit consciousness, fight against social injustice. If you ask 100 people on the street, what is the first thing that comes to their mind when they hear the term Ambedkar? It comes Constitution. So brand Ambedkar is equal to Constitution of India. No, and I am guaranteeing you, Jyoti, 100 people on the street, random, you talk and say, one name that comes to you in your mind with Buddhism, it will not be Ambedkar ji, it will be Dalai Lama. I'm telling you, actually when we talk about all these things, we have to also realize in public perception at large, where are these things there? And whichever the 22 vows that are in question right now, they are pretty much there that Ambedkar ji at that point of time deemed fit that the people whom he wanted to pull out of that kind of inequality, lock, stock and barrel. And he wanted that umbilical cord to be shut out from that so that they don't have that kind of notional going back or anything. He just wanted to give them a new, right, justified platform. He was right. But to a larger part of the India, that kind of positioning that I am anti-Brahma, anti-Vishnu, anti-Mahesh, I shall not invite any Brahmin in that way. Those things, those vows are not in public domain. People don't know.
But Yashwant, even if they...
I disagree with Chandrabhanji that Dalit, he said that every Dalit home is taking those vows. I'm sorry, Chandrabhanji. Outside Maharashtra, huge majority of the Dalits across India do not know of these vows.
Yashwant, that's not the point. The point is not whether they know or they don't know. These 22 vows exist. And let me just read out one or two of these vows. I shall have no faith in Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, nor
Exactly.
shall I worship them. That's the first vow. The second vow is I shall have no faith in Ram and Krishna, who are believed to be incarnation of God, nor shall I worship them. Third vow, I shall have no faith in Gauri, Ganpati, and other gods and goddesses of Hindus, nor shall I worship them. The question is not that people don't know. The question is that the people who are against the politics of the Aam Aadmi Party today, they have found it convenient to label this as anti-Hindu. But the question is not that. I think what we are, and that's the question I want to ask you both. Chandrabhanji, what is it about Hindutva? What is it about, what is it about Arvind Kejriwal? Why did he have to ask his minister to go?
Let me first say, I came to Delhi in 1980, and I am in Delhi since then. I have seen many upper caste intellectuals who respect Dalits very much, but reject Dalit opinions. And they are expert on Ambedkar, expert on Dalits, expert on Buddhism, experts on political parties, voting, everything. From voting pattern to astrophysics. So they are expert for everything. So that is history given anchored right that they have, and they have no patience to listen because that is not their habit. Number two, let me admit that all people voted for BJP. Dalit, OBCs, Muslim women, tribal, Brahman, except Yadav. All people voted for BJP. BJP was getting 90% of votes. But due to some mechanical error, something, the vote percentage came down. So let us accept that everybody in India is voting for BJP, not only Dalits. And now we can move over to Mulayam Singh ji.
No, we can.
I have accepted both of you points.
No,
I have accepted both of you points that an upper caste intellectual is always superior in knowledge
Chandrabhan
from
ji,
poetry to mathematics.
Chandrabhan, we are having
Climate change.
No, it's going in the wrong direction,
No,
Chandrabhan ji.
one second, Yashwant, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, you will decide which direction is correct.
No,
That also I agree.
No. I said this debate is going in the wrong direction.
No, 1 second, Yashwant.
I did not say all these things which you insinuating.
Okay,
that
1 second, Yashwant. Just 1 second. Chandrabhan ji, the question is not whether it is, these are, the debate is upper class or middle class or lower class or whatever it is. Right now, you are two, both of you are professionals, both of you are experts in your respective subjects. That is why we are all discussing this subject. The question was not, the question is, why is it that the Aam Aadmi Party was forced to sack Rajendra Pal Gautam? Why is it that the BJP is uncomfortable with the idea of Dalit consciousness? That's the question. On the one hand, Prime Minister Modi talks about the fact that Ambedkar is one of his greatest heroes. On the other hand, the BJP is uncomfortable. Political Hindutva is not comfortable with the idea of Dalit consciousness. So this contradiction is something that I want to understand. Chandrabhanji?
Well, the evidence says this, that BJP has no agenda other than Hindus as victims. And Kejriwal, after failing on several fronts, today only I saw several tweets that only 1/3 of Delhi government-run schools have science courses beyond high school.
Mm-hmm.
Do not have science courses beyond high school.
Yeah.
So he too is now competing for the same space that BJP occupied. BJP once thought that it's got Delhi cards. Give him a Delhi, he will be happy. But his ambitions have outgrown his earlier understanding with RSS. So he also wants to be seen as a pro-Hindu leader, because Hindus are in majority in this country. So he would certainly dismiss Gautam, who in public perception, the media, and you know the media.
No, but what about the BJP itself? Why is the BJP on the one
BJP
hand?
has problem with Dalits as a community. BJP has a problem with a Dalit riding horse. BJP has a problem with Dalit growing moustaches. BJP has a problem with Dalits dressing well. BJP has a problem with Dalits doing PhDs. BJP has a problem with the entire community because only Dalits question BJP's world order. Not Muslims, not Christians, not Sikhs. So this battle will be there for for centuries maybe.
So Yashwant, the
Okay,
same question to
yeah.
you. On the one
Actually,
hand,
I have to. I will wrap. Just give something because I have to go for a meeting, Jyoti. But you know what? I respect Chandrabhanji a lot, and I agree with everything that he said. That BJP has a problem with everything. My issue is that BJP has a problem with the Dalits, but Dalits don't seem to have a problem with the BJP. That's the hard reality. So that's something which you have to focus on. I think this guy got ousted by Kejriwal ji for a simple reason that Gujarat equation is critically important for them. In the real political scenario, those vows as on today doesn't fit in the political thing. I mean, whatever the political Hindutva
so
that we
how
are
does it? And explain that to me. On the one hand, Prime Minister Modi says Ambedkar is a hero. On the other hand, his
Ambedkar
own
is a
party.
hero for Ambedkar might be a hero for him and the RSS for everything that he did for the country and everything that he did for the rights of Dalits. But they may or may not agree with everything that he said. You know, we also as a humans we agree. I agree with on 90% of the things about the atrocities on the Dalits which Chandrabhanji says. I agree with him that it is not a justified place. I agree there is so many there are so many inequalities. I agree that so much wrong has been done with Dalits. I agree with that Dalits need the first choice in an affirmative action. I agree with everything with whatever Chandrabhanji says, but still I might disagree with him on a couple of points because on those couple of points the political arithmetic doesn't show. I agree with him that BJP has a problem with Dalit, but he has to agree with me that Dalits don't seem to have a problem with the BJP.
So in
They are
your
voting
view,
for the BJP.
but
So that is
why?
the
Why
thing which we
are
have to-
so why are the Dalits voting for the BJP?
They are voting for the BJP for the larger day-to-day things, the delivery of the governance and other things, and also because BJP is lucky to have a mother organization which has been working in the field for ages now for all those deprived classes. Chandrabhanji may like or dislike it, but you cannot take away that work of RSS in those areas where the social capital of RSS is being translated into the political capital of the BJP. I am only as a data person, I'm just trying to give the numbers. Chandrabhanji might disagree with that number. It might not suit him. That's okay. But on record, I am agreeing with whatever Chandrabhanji said, 99% with 1% of this thing, that part of it, the political understanding of mine with the political data is not supporting. There is something beyond, there are things beyond these 22 vows. There are things beyond the typical understanding of all of us, what Ambedkar ji did or what he did not, which goes into today's Dalit consciousness and particularly the Dalit youth.
So you would say, Chandrabhanji, that there is a big gap in this understanding of Ambedkar in the BJP as well as amongst the Dalits.
This is really hilarious that we have problems with BJP and Dalits don't have problem with BJP. And the myth, the lie is spread time and again that Dalits of UP who left Mayawati went with BJP only. There is no evidence towards that, but I accept the defeat in the debate, and I agree that everybody in India voted for BJP.
No.
Not
Why is it that they did not vote for Mayawati?
Who?
The
Mayawati is
Dalits.
on decline. He's out of touch from the social realities.
Okay.
And I mean, that nobody can help. It is a fact. It is a fact, and Dalits in UP wanted Dalit middle class is dead against BJP because they think BJP is a greater danger for the constitution. Remember, from Advani days, we will reform constitution. For decades, RSS did not accept constitution. They did not accept Ambedkar. Ambedkar is one of the Ravanas to them, the famous cartoon. So this is a reality. So now the Hindu card, because once you abuse a Muslim, I live in a middle class society. One crying Muslim, one crying Dalit on TV screen gives happiness to the Dalit middle class. And please, I believe in evidence. Please go to the morning walking or evening walking. Amongst walkers in my area, there are elderly walkers who go from home for walking, but they assemble somewhere. They laugh loudly in a very unnatural manner, and they discuss. They discuss what? Bloody Rahul Gandhi, bloody Rahul Gandhi, bloody Rahul Gandhi. So, and if a Muslim is lynched, they get immense happiness for entire month. So this is what Hindutva is. So now Arvind Kejriwal is going to a state like BJP, where Muslim hunting makes the entire Hindus of India, even Hindus living in San Francisco and New York, feel elated. So that's the state Kejriwal is going, and he will not be going with the anti-Hindu kind of image. And that is what BJP is: say something, do something.
So he sacrificed Rajendra Pal Gautam, one of his best ministers, because he wanted to give the Aam Aadmi Party a chance in Gujarat. Yes?
You know, Rajendra Pal Gautam is a very interesting character. Aam Aadmi parties declared that they will send 50 Dalits abroad for study every year. They have sent only 3 and have spent some 100 crore on advertisement. Rajendra Pal Gautam is elected from a reserved constituency to serve the interests of Dalits. That is a constitutional duty. He has nothing to do with that constitutional duty, and then BJP has set the agenda. Take the banner of religion, and he has taken the banner of religion. So that is his career. People are applauding all over India. Maybe I am the only fool who is questioning. But
what are you questioning?
Pardon?
What are you questioning?
No, I am saying he is carrying the flag of Buddhism, but it's not caring for which he is elected. He is elected to serve the interests of scheduled castes. So he had nothing to show on that front. So he has also taken religion. And now the Dalit middle class, if upper middle class gets immense pleasure in seeing a crying face of a Muslim or a Dalit. Dalits also have this tendency to celebrate somebody who makes fun of Brahmins, who makes fun of Hindus, and then put Ambedkar's name there. Then he also turns into a hero.
So in a sense, Rajendra Pal Gautam fell into the trap of the BJP by also using the card of religion, in this case, Buddhism.
No, it's not a trap, since it has become a fashion now.
Okay.
So if you are not doing anything for your community, then take the umbrella of religion. So truth must be spoken. Not that everybody has voted for BJP, but BJP hasn't got all those votes for some reason.
On this note, Chandrabhan Prasad, I'm afraid I'll have to end the discussion. We seem to have lost Yashwant Deshmukh, but thank you so much for participating in this and for explaining the politics behind the conversions, behind the 22 vows of B.R. Ambedkar, and what this has to do with the current politics of our time, with Arvind Kejriwal's foray into Gujarat and the sacking of Rajendra Pal Gautam. Thank you so much for joining me on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.